Going on, Falcon fan? This your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. So, guys, day 6 of training camp for these Atlanta Falcons in 2023. We got to hear from the owner today, Mr. Arthur Blank, what his thoughts on the team, what his feeling the team can do this year. Also, gonna get into what we've been hearing around practice today, the progress the team making. They're making strides, getting better doing these practices. So guys, with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys out here that I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So guys, like I said, we did hear from the owner today, Mr. Arthur Blank, and he gave his thoughts on what he thought about the team. He mentioned that Terry and Coach Smith did give him a good plan. Was a 3-year plan, something that we've been talking about here on this podcast. That they laid out a plan. Of course, they deviated a little bit. Made adjustment as they needed, but the whole idea was coming into year 3 when they were going to have a clean cap, able to spend, no dead cap on the books, anything like that. They were able to come out and actually make the moves, and we actually got to see that right this off season where Terry Fontenot and Coach Smith actually got in to bring in guys. So you can honestly say that that now they can actually say this is their team, right? Arthur Blank mentioned that he liked that. He loved the collaboration between those guys. How they work together to make sure that they bringing in the right kind of people. The culture that they brought in. So disagreements that they have, anything like that, they work through it, making sure that they're making the best decisions moving forward for the Atlanta Falcons. So he also mentioned that he believes that Desmond Ridder, and they all believe that Desmond Ridder can definitely be the quarterback of the future. Now, definitely, he did at the end say that he has to go out and show that, right? So what he's able to put on the field, that's what it's all about. It's all about their production and stuff. But the idea that they actually believe that, so they're actually thinking that Desmond Ridder can be the future of the Atlanta Falcons, right? And I sit here and I think about that, and when the teams draft young quarterbacks, right? And it's like the conventional. If you draft a quarterback in the first round, right? He has time, right? He has time to prove himself. Let's say he doesn't have a good season or anything like that first season, but the team's going to give him leeway because he's drafted in the first round, right? It seems like in Desmond Ridder's case, like, not from the Atlanta Falcons perspective, I would say, but from everybody else in national media perspective, is because he was drafted in the 3rd round. This is it for him. He has to be able to go out and light it up and be able to be this awesome quarterback. But in reality, he is a rookie. In my eyes, only 4 games last season. So he needs time to get out there, and he's going to make mistakes. We have to understand that he's a young quarterback, just like all the other young quarterbacks. Today in the league, impatience is really what has taken over. Everybody living in a microwave society where stuff has to happen instant. I understand this is Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot's 3rd season, so they could be in a different situation. They might not have that time, but what I'm saying is Desmond Ridder is a young quarterback, and I just feel like he should get the same kind of time to develop, just like all the other young quarterbacks. Like I said, young quarterbacks usually don't come in and light it up, right? It is some cases where they do, but sometimes it takes time I do think that this regime actually put Desmond Ritter in a good situation where he can actually be successful. So he has to take that by the horns and be able to. I think he can be successful the years because of what the Atlanta Falcons was able to do for him. But it just I think we just need to realize that this organization, the owner, all the way down to the head coach and his teammates, believe in Desmond Ritter, and they're gonna see this thing through. They all believe that he could get the job done by what he has shown since he's been here, came in last year, and what he possibly can do this year. So those are the belief, and as a fan base, we need to get behind him and support him, and hopefully he can actually do what we all think he can, because I believe he can. It might take a little time. He's going to make mistakes, and we just got to live with some of those mistakes. But where he showed us last year, those 4 games he played, you saw the potential there. Made plays. It was kind of shaky at the beginning. It was, but after he settled in and started to get rhythm and chemistry with these guys, which he's going to be able to do this training camp, I think it's going to bode well for Desmond Ritter moving forward. All right, so that's pretty much what the owner had to say. Had a lot of more league stuff that he's talking about, but as far as the Atlanta Falcons go, he's pleased what he sees with the team. He does believe in Desmond Ritter, and the last caveat is that he believed that we should have a winning record this year. So he's on board with most of how all us are feeling as well as fans, that we should be able to get into the postseason this year. So let's hope that's the case, for everybody's sake, because Mr. Arthur Blank is impatient, and we have to see how this is going to pan out. So, all right. So day 6 of training camp, like I said, it's the second day of pads. It started ramping up a little bit more, but some of the things that you can see, another day to grow. It's just 6 practices. It seems like it's been more than that, but it's only been 6 practices. Only the second day in pads. But from the reports that we've been hearing out there, and videos and things like that, we get via Twitter or X, whatever they want to call it nowadays. You can see the growth and the chemistry developing between Des and Kyle Pitts. That is a good thing to see. The more chemistry they get, the more timing they get, the more rhythm they get. That's going to bode well for that duo. Of course, you saw the chemistry he built with Drake London last year. But, being able to build the chemistry with Kyle Pitts is definitely going to be something that we definitely need to see. And I feel like Desmond Ritter himself is starting to get, more comfortable, getting rhythm, starting to understand, like I said, his guys and things like that. So as days start to go, he's going to start stacking those days, and he's going to start get better and better and get more comfortable with his playbook. So that's one of the things that you definitely like to see and hear coming from camp. Of course, you hear all the turnovers and things like that. That's going to happen in camp, guys. Like if you're going and playing football, if you've been around football long enough, even the greatest guys going to make mistakes. So that's going to happen. You have to take those things with a grain of salt. Those are learning experiences, especially for young quarterbacks, and just the 6th day of practice. So I'm not going to dwell on any mistakes too much. You just know that the more days he gets, the more practice he gets, the more rhythm he gets, the more reps he gets, the better he should start to play. And that's the hope, right? One thing we can say, the secondary as a whole is as advertised. I think this is going to be a really, really, really solid secondary for the Atlanta Falcons this year. Can't wait to see them go up against another team like in the Miami Dolphins. Their receiving core, bigger name guys and things like that. Not as big, in built like our receivers and physical, but they're shifty and fast. So it's going to be a different kind of receiver for our secondary to cover. Similar offense, I would say, but it's going to be a little different kind of skill players that they're gonna have to cover. So I want to see that secondary, but the secondary as a whole is something that's definitely to keep coming up in these first 6 days. So that's a bright spot, as well as the defensive line. The run game still has not really shown what they really wanted to show because of that defensive front and those linebackers just being real physical up front. You love to hear that. Like I said, when it's your team, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing too, because like they can't get the run game going, but at the same time, you say the defense is preventing them from doing that. So that is definitely a good sign. Names that continue to come up in practice day in and day out, and it's actually our young guys. I mean, Harrison definitely keep having splash plays, keeps coming up in reports that keep talking about Zach Harrison. So that's a really, really good sign for him. Definitely could be in the rotation now from that defensive front, making plays and things like that. And then Clark Phillips is another name. Just continue to come up. We talked about him, competitive he is, being short in stature and things like that. I should know about that myself because I'm short in stature. But it's all about, the work you put in. And, I always have this saying is, it's a difference between short and little, right? You can be short, but you're not little. And that's the way I look at it, myself and Clark Phillips. And then, of course, BJ keep making plays. BJ actually had some snafu's today. He had a couple of fumbles, so he's not, Superman out. He's not perfect. He's going to make mistakes just like all rookies do. So that's a good thing. But those guys' names keep coming up. Some receivers that keep coming up is guys like Frank Darby, Xavier Malone. The name guys that we don't call a lot. They always talking about those guys, and we expected guys like Cordell Patterson, Drake London, guys like Damon Yada, Grady Jarrett. Those guys are always going to make their plays that they make, but you got to talk about the guys that's down on the depth chart, guys that you're going to know that's going to help those big name guys out that we hear about. But the guys, so far the reporting at training camp is that it's going in the right direction. The coaching staff is pleased. All the players are pleased with the competition that they're having day in and day out. So far, not as many injuries and things like that. We did see Scotty Miller in a yellow jersey today. That's like a no contact jersey, but he still was out there participating, so it must not be that serious, which is a good thing. But day 6, guys, we have not even gotten to the dog days of camp yet, right? Because it's just 6 days. So they got a lot of time left, a lot of things that they definitely need to work on. But hopefully by that last preseason game going in, when they start have to make the roster decision, this team is where they want to be and get ready and start the game planning for September 10th, where they go up against the Carolina Panthers in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. So guys, that's all I have today. Let me know what you think about the thoughts of Mr. Arthur Blank, about what he felt like the team, the regime has done so far in these first 3 seasons, and your expectations. Are you in agreement with Mr. Blank that they should be a winning team this year? And your thoughts on day 6 of training camp. And this is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.